So I packed my things and
All right, I'll get straight to the point. I found marijuana in the house. And while I never thought of myself as the type of father who'd have to drug test his kids, I'm willing to do just that if that's what it takes to find out who brought a joint into this house.
Dad, Lucy found something too.
Dad, I found a joint in Mom's dresser drawer.
I don't know who thought it was a good idea to take 23 8th graders to Costa Rica, but there we were. 23 kids who all had the Spanish skills of a 4-year-old. I think it took me about a year to realize how special this trip was. See, our school ended in 8th grade, so about 2 months after this trip we would all go our separate ways. It was like the cherry on top of all 9 years we'd spent together as a class. I guess what I missed most was my ability not to care. I didn't worry about how I looked or how I dressed or about how I talked or walked. I think it just seemed easier back then. Nowadays I can't help but worry about things like those. It's funny, when I was combing through the footage to make this, I couldn't help but grin as I watched my 8th grade self just having fun and, well, just being a kid. Anyway, we're in La Fortuna to zipline on the Arenal volcano. I'd never ziplined before and I was as terrified as I was excited. 20 minutes later, I found myself on a mountain, waiting in line, getting hooked in, and then flying. Yep, it was pretty awesome. We were still pretty high off the past day when we got back to our hotel, so we decided to do a little filmmaking of our own. I present to you Griffin, Quincy, and Tyler's Guide to Keeping Out the Predators.
First step to protecting yourself from creepers. You don't know what you can expect. That's why you need to be prepared. So, first we have to wait for somebody. And then we can properly defend ourselves. Tyler, get the keys. Wait,
I got the sword.
we spotted our creeper. Now we must defend ourselves. Close all the blinds. Make sure they're covering each other like that so they stay closed. Next, get the keys. Where's the keys? Keys. Then you lock your door twice. Now you are doubly locked, doubly safe, and now we're doubly defended. Take the keys. Then you must make sure all of other sources to get in are closed. These could be open, but now they're closed. And now you have properly defended yourself against creepers.
Those imbeciles, I heard them leave because they didn't lock the vent. And I got in because they didn't double lock the door.
Oh, that was bad. Okay, moving on. Where were we? Ah, science. That's right, people. This was a scientific trip. Extremely scientific. Our team was out to look at frogs. Something about seeing how tree frogs reacted to lighting changes in captivity. Kind of dumb, but we just wanted to play with frogs. We originally wanted to do snakes, but apparently the school's insurance was not about to let us, so we were stuck with frogs. Okay, so it turns out this little guy is one of the most poisonous snakes in Costa Rica, and it's also considered aggressive, so maybe the insurance company wins this time. Anyway, before we went to terrorize the frogs, they let us explore the area a little bit. A massive wildlife reserve and research spot that we stayed the night at. They told us there was a really pretty waterfall you could find, so we took a tram to the bottom of a valley in the middle of the rainforest for a little climb. We made a couple stops on the way, but mostly it was to search for the waterfall. So remember that little climb I mentioned? Yeah. After a while of hiking in the gorgeous rainforest, we found it, and it was worth every step. It was beautiful, nothing like I'd seen before. My time with the waterfall was cut short when we had to climb back up to the tram.
You a bro mealy.
Weird. It's like you're Did you like the choking thing? Yeah. Do the seat. Yep, over that way.
When we got back, we started again with our extremely scientific work with the frogs. These were a couple of our test subjects, and we got some highly conclusive data. After that, the researchers offered to take us up on a night hike searching for frogs, and we couldn't pass that up. We were searching for the lemur leaf frog. It's one of the rarest tree frogs in Costa Rica right now due to a decreasing population. So, we were hoping we just might find one. This wasn't it. Cool, but not what we wanted, so we kept looking. Then our guide stopped us all in our tracks and said he might have found something.
I'm from the same genre.
And there it was, the lemur leaf frog, probably one of the rarest frogs in the world, right at our fingertips.
Everything could be orange. Warm up the colors.
This was our last stop on the trip, Puerto Viejo, a town on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. We didn't stay for long, but it was easily my favorite place on the trip. Something about this small and tranquil beach town had got me. I remember watching the sunsets over the ocean. It was so peaceful. With that, we started to make our way home. 10 days had gone by too fast. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who was there for making this such a special time. I've been wanting to tell this story for a long while now. It may not be much, but it's important to me and maybe you somehow. Until then, thank you.